Okay. So last week was 9 ounces and it was on 12. Oh my goodness. I have atrocious handwriting. 9 ounces, 12.11. So what we'll do is we'll mark that tray and then we'll mark the other ones with this week. Hello, it's Steve with Our Sustainable Journey. What a wild week. So we've had some windstorms. You know, we're in north central Illinois, not as bad as Kentucky. Kentucky's just been devastated and awful, and Edwardsville in Illinois has been destroyed as well. So really bad stuff there. So nothing too crazy, but still we have, hopefully you can see the one tree there that's kind of at a 45-degree angle. Trees aren't supposed to be at a 45-degree angle. And there's some branches right here that technically had broken off last year at the derecho, but they were, 60, 70 feet in the air, and so I wasn't able to get to them. And they fell, which is kind of nice. But then another tree in the workshop now, another tree that I will need to take care of is out in the dogs area, and you can't really see it. It's one of the ones over there is leaning towards our little garage there. So we're gonna need to take that down this weekend, but that's not what this video is about. Last week, in last week's video, we talked about sifting through the worms to see what kind of weight we have, and we had 9 ounces in one of the trays. I'm just gonna check out the other two and see what kind of weight of worms we have in those. So stay tuned. So there we go. We're at 650 subscribers at the time. I don't know where we're at, like 730, something like that, which is awesome. And that one had 9 ounces on 12.11. Yes, I can read my handwriting, even if you can't. So we'll grab the next one and we'll start sifting. So, oh, this one's got a lot of water. But we've had some weird weather lately. Oops, that's falling apart. That's really falling apart. All right, let's set that aside. Oh, we've got something growing. I think those might be... Those are all pumpkin seeds. So you see all the pumpkin seeds and how well they're doing. And that's all that's left of that giant piece of pumpkin was the seeds. And they are all sprouting, which is pretty awesome. That's awesome to see. All right, so let's scoop some of those guys out. And we'll start. Ooh, oh, I'm making a mess. This is hard to do with one hand. I think this one's gonna have a lot more than the last one. I just based on what I'm seeing. Did I just see a cocoon? Could it be? Could it be? I doubt it very much. I don't think that's a cocoon. That is not a cocoon. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how well this is gonna zoom on that, but that is not a cocoon. Not sure what that is. Some sort of seed or something. But see, that happens all the time where you get excited. You think you've got a cocoon. I see people post them online and they're like, yeah, we got a cocoon. And it wasn't a cocoon, it was something else. Seeds from the various fruits and vegetables and whatnot that we're putting in there. They leave behind seeds all the time because those take a bit to break down. All right, so let me tell you about my week while I'm sifting. All right, because I'm just gonna be digging through here looking for cocoons and worms and pulling them out and putting them in our little tray. So this week, what's happened? We've had some crazy windstorms. We've had a little bit of damage on trees. a lot of branches fell down. Part of our fence broke, and so that's going to need to be repaired probably in the spring, because we should be getting snow anytime now. We lost a turkey, or not a turkey, what am I saying? We lost a chicken, one of our roosters, actually. So I want to say inherited, but we acquired some chickens that somebody was no longer able to care for. And 3 of the chickens were pullets. So pullets basically means babies, young chickens. And they were unknown, right? They were chicks. We got 3 of them. They were in a shoebox. That's how big they were. They were very small. And so we didn't know what they were, whether they were hens or roosters. And I'm of the mind that until they either lay an egg or start crowing or start showing signs of being a rooster or a hen, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's really easy to tell if you sex them with their vent and do that, but I don't know, that seems invasive to me, so we don't do that. But the other rooster had attacked the younger rooster, and so, which is normal. There's a pecking order with chickens, so they need to know their place, I guess, and which is where that term comes from, is pecking order, because they peck. And so the problem with that is that he was bleeding, and when chickens see red, which again, another expression you've probably heard, seeing red, when the other chickens saw red, they started pecking that area. And so he was bleeding more and more and more. And so we separated him out, and we had to make this decision of either rehabilitating him, which is totally doable, but then I knew that as soon as we put him back, it would happen again. And so if they're going to continue attacking each other, then we can't really put him back with the rest of the flock, herd, or what have you. And so we'd have to keep him separate forever, or separate out a few hens for him to be with, or whatever. But we're not really interested in breeding and having babies necessarily that we've incubated. And so I would rather just have a bunch of hens, because we have someone local that every year gets rid of his chickens because he starts fresh. And so what we do there is we'll just take, I think he gets 40, and so we'll take the 40 from him, and then we can age out the other ones and use them for soup or what have you. But we have no interest in having the roosters, and so we knew that it was basically time, so we had to cull him. It wasn't the best eating, but again, they're not bred. The ones we have aren't bred for meat. We have them for eggs, and so we still ate the whole thing. So it was somewhat bittersweet, just knowing that this poor guy died because he didn't get along with the other rooster. So that was tough. It was tough on the kids too. But at least he wasn't the oldest and most mature rooster that we have, who's absolutely stunning to look at. He's everything you think of in a cool looking rooster, but unfortunately he's the one that we think attacked the other one, so he's probably not long for this earth either. But that's one of the things, on a farm, that's what happens, is the animals have to go. That's what they're there for, is we give them the best life we can, and if bad things happen, we get rid of them. So that's we got rid of that one chicken. We also have a date for the pigs to be slaughtered. That will be in January. We'll probably do pigs again next year. We'll see. I had hoped to get them bred and go that route, but we want a registered line of breeders of pigs that have been registered, and so we're gonna start fresh in the spring and possibly getting some pigs. Steph, my wife, didn't like the pigs very much because they're 200 pounds, and when they bump into you and you fall over and they start chomping on you, they don't really do that, but that's always present in your mind of something that could happen, is having a pig eat you, because you hear those horror stories all the time about people getting eaten by pigs, and our neighbors even told us horror stories of people that they knew that had been killed or eaten by pigs. So it's a dangerous animal, and so we're not going to keep them past mid-January is when they're going to the butcher. So we've got that squared away. The wood burner has been awesome. We've been going through getting that thing going, getting the house warm with wood, which is pretty cool. I guess it's not a wood burner, it's called a wood boiler, because it boils water that circulates through the furnace in the house, and there's a blower that then blows that hot air into the house. So it's kind of a little bit different than a wood boiler or a wood burner. We call it the wood burner because it burns wood. So yeah, so that's been what's going on my week. So tell me about yours. Let me hear from you. Leave a comment, shoot an email, what have you, and we can chat. All right, I'm gonna continue doing this. So I want to show you this. I finally got to that bundle of pumpkin seeds, and you can see it's not so much a bundle of pumpkin seeds as a bundle of worms, just chock full of them. So this is going to take a little bit to separate, but I think that's pretty neat that they all managed to go in that one spot. Oh, there's a cocoon. Cool. There's another cocoon. So that's the other thing that happens, is when you have tight quarters for them to crawl through, things like that, things like corrugated cardboard. What will happen is the cocoons will get stuck on the inside, and it creates this perfect little environment for the cocoons. So when you get to the end of sifting, all that's left is a worm ball. Because here they all are. So I've been slowly scraping away the top, pulling out the few outliers. But this, there you go. That's what's left, is this giant ball of worms. Oops, come on guys. Come on. Oh my goodness. There. So, there's just a few left. Cool. Worms are fascinating. All right, so this bin, this is what we got. And pile of worms, I need to clean it up a little bit. And that's what we got in cocoons, which is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, get some of the giant hunks of shredding. I mean, I guess they're not really giant hunks of shredding, but compared to the worms they are. So I will get this cleaned up and then we'll get this weighed. All right, that is everything. Well, not everything, obviously, because there's still a little bit, but we'll see what this one weighs. Last one was 9 ounces. This one is 10. Too funny. So we've got 1 ounce more worms than we did in the last one, so I'll put these back. That's probably all the time we have. I think this video is probably running a little bit long. So I will do the other one probably next week, and we'll see if it's going to be 9 ounces or 10 ounces or some variation thereof. And we'll watch the little wormies squirm their way back into their homes. Cool. That'll be it for me. You all take care. We'll see you later. All right. And it's going to be the 18th. 12, 18. All right. We'll see what the next one is. Where is Mr. Rooster? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, let me walk through. Let me walk through. So, that majestic man. Look here. Look at how cool he is. Let's see, we're also wondering if those two are also roosters. So we'll see. Time will tell, I guess. But that was just a magnificent looking dude.